All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Tuesday night Principal Cairo broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, your esteemed MC for tonight's exciting call with Dr. Pete Gay. But before we get to Pete, we got to say hello to Emma. Emma in the house. How we doing, Emma?
Good.
Good, that's it? Do you want to say anything to our viewers?
I love DE.
You love DE. Yay. I do too. Okay, great. Well, thanks for checking in here. Ready to go into the announcements? All right, let's see those announcements here. We will pull it up here. We've got our upcoming DEs. DE Summer, July 16th to the 19th, Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center. So that is 1 month away. Very exciting. Then we come to fall, October 22nd, back in Atlanta. We got our winter snow DE, January 28th to the 31st in Atlanta. And then we are back in Clearwater for the spring, April 15th to the 18th at the Sheridan Sand Key Resort. Go to lifede.com to register for this upcoming DE and any others in the future. You could also become a DE member. Member is a great deal, $129 per month. Associate rate $65 a month. It spreads it out. So it's not one big lump sum every so often. It's a nice monthly thing that comes out. You save money by being a member, and you also get access to all the previous DEs. So you can go back, re-listen to some of your favorite talks from some of your favorite people. Definitely become a member of Dynamic Essentials. So and then the room block does end July 1st. So that's about 2 weeks away. That's the room block. So if you have not gotten your room, get that now. Go to lifed.com to get registered. If you have any questions or problems, ask Kat. She'll help you get it. Great deal on rooms, and let's get that sewed up now because we're at that point. So, bye, Emma. But yeah, I'm excited for DE. On the DE Facebook page, they announced a lot of our upcoming speakers. Steve Judson, Brian Lieberman, Eddie Martinez will be there, Paula Hedgelund, Dana Becksher, Dean Sotilli, to name a few. So it's going to be a great, great event. So I'll be there, obviously. So get registered, get your room block, get your flights if you got to fly in, and let's hang out, get dipped in the principal, and have a great time. So I hope to see you there. Now for tonight's speaker, Dr. Pete Gay, I've known for a number of years. I served on the board of directors for the ICA with Pete for many years, and Pete's just an awesome principal guy. Great chiropractor. Him and his wife Katie up there in Maine are just kicking butt. We share a mutual patient that he sent down to me that we were just chatting offline about. Good guy, and it's really nice when you get that trust from a DE brother, sending someone down to you, and you take great care of him and you send him right back. So he's a snowbird that goes up and back. But I appreciate that, Pete, and excited to hear your call tonight. And thanks for your service to chiropractic. Thanks for being a kick-ass chiropractor. And let's hear our speaker tonight from Maine, Kenny Bunkport, I believe. Dr. Pete Gay. Pete, take it away. Love and appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's really nice having somebody that you can trust, send them down and get adjusted and get taken care of and know they're getting the real deal. And then they come right back and they stay connected. So I appreciate you and I appreciate that. And I guess that all comes down to what I'm going to talk about tonight, because everything that foundational that I have in chiropractic started with DE. And, you hear that from a lot of speakers. This is a common topic you're going to hear people talk about on these calls and at DE, that DE is central to where they became a chiropractor. And for me, it's no different. I mean, I've mentioned my story before, but I'm going to maybe give you some different little twists on it. I wasn't always going to be a chiropractor. I tell people I started my chiropractic journey at Rutgers College of Pharmacy, where I was going to become a pharmacist. When I was in school, when I was in high school, I worked at a pharmacy and didn't, I was a high school kid. I thought, hey, my grades were good. The pharmacist, he had a nice car. He had a good job. He lived well. I said, maybe I'll do that. So I went to pharmacy school. Meantime, I had a bunch of health issues, a lot of problems with allergies to the point that it became a form of asthma. So they say, who knows? And, being in pharmacy school, I got to try some drugs, but I also started to learn about how they worked and what they did and what they didn't do. And I decided, I can't keep taking that. And it was when I was in pharmacy school that I started seeing a chiropractor. And the chiropractor was actually just fairly new in practice. Her sister worked for a company that I was working for, a pharmaceutical company that I was working for in the summers. And she kept telling me, go see my sister, go see my sister. So, of course, I didn't know anything about chiropractic. I thought it was a sports medicine doctor. And I went to see her and she explained a bit. I said, okay, sounds cool. And she offered to start checking me and adjusting me. And I said, let's do it. And I really liked it, loved how it felt, loved how my body felt. But then things for me started to change. The way I breathed, the way I felt, the way I was clear. Within 3 months, I was taking no medications at all, where they wanted to start giving me steroids and they gave me inhalers and things like that. I was down to taking nothing. And obviously it was profound and life-changing, so much so that I changed my undergraduate major and changed it to a bio degree, and then I went to chiropractic school. So being from New Jersey, I looked up chiropractic schools, and the chiropractor that I had gone to went to New York Chiropractic College, and New York Chiropractic College was in the neighboring state. So I checked it out and I said, no, I'll apply there. I applied there and I got accepted. So when I went, I didn't really understand the full principle or the big idea of chiropractic, but I knew it was something bigger than what I was seeing. So I got to school, and a lot of the things I saw seemed a lot of like some sort of physiotherapy, kind of like a sports medicine doctor would originally thought. And there was a lot of that, but then there was a lot of other people talking about other things. But one of the best chiropractors there, I would say he was the most principled chiropractor at New York Chiropractic College at the time. He was our philosophy professor. He taught some other things, and his name was Dr. Frank DiGiacomo. So anybody out there that recognizes Dr. Frank DiGiacomo, he was a great man. He was a very principled chiropractor. He wrote our philosophy book. He was the only one that taught us real philosophy, not just history of chiropractic, but chiropractic philosophy at New York Chiropractic College. And the book was called Man's Greatest Gift to Man. And I still have the book. In fact, my wife, who went to Palmer, had never seen the book a while back, and she was looking for something different to read, and I gave it to her, and she said she really liked it, really enjoyed it, never knew about it because the guy came out of New York. So I got a lot out of that, but I still didn't really get the big idea. And then after my first trimester at New York, I remember somebody telling me, it was somebody saying, hey, when you're around, look out for this thing called DE. I don't remember who told me. They didn't tell me any specifics. They said, check it out. It's a really good program. You should really go see it. And somehow that stuck in the back of my head. So at the end of the trimester, back in those days in New York, remember Today's Chiropractic magazine? They put it up. Dr. Sid put it out, Life University. So they used to deliver them to our school in boxes and leaving them at the front entry free for students to take. So I'd always take one. And I started flipping through it, and there was this little square ad this big, not a full page ad, just this little ad with an eagle on it. And it said, come to Life DE, and I saw it and I recognized it, and I saw the date, and the date was during our semester break between first and second try. So I said, I'd like to go to that. I'd like to check that out, but it's all the way down in Atlanta. So I got a few friends, 3 other guys in my class interested. And we got in my little car, a little old Pontiac Sunbird, and we drove from Long Island, New York to Atlanta, Georgia for this program called DE, not really knowing exactly what it was, but we just wanted to learn more about chiropractic. And needless to say, we walked in, and it was at the Stouffer Waverly. We walked into this huge room with a massive amount of chiropractor, and we saw, it wasn't even what we saw, it was the energy that we felt. There was so much energy there. There was so much enthusiasm there and excitement there that you could just pick that up. It doesn't matter even what they were saying. It was how they said it. And in hindsight, I mean, all the greats were there at the time. We saw Dr. Sid was there. Dr. Sigafus was there. I remember seeing Fred Barge. All the Michigan guys were there. John Hoffman, Ian Grassam. It was an amazing program. And needless to say, we were lit up. We were on that program. We just absorbed it like dry sponges and sucked it all up. And we were on fire. So, of course, we go back to New York on fire. And they're like, what the heck happened with you guys? So from then on, we were never really the same. And we always ended up being the guys in all the classes that started raising a hand and started controversy about something. But I guess that prepared me to be a chiropractor, because you can't be a chiropractor and not open your mouth or not be able to step on people's toes. But what's important at DE was, it's not just hearing the speakers on the stage. I've always said some of the best DE I have gotten and still get are the conversations, or what Dr. Sid used to call the camaraderie, rubbing elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder with your fellow chiropractor, and staying up at night and hanging out after the speakers and just sharing and absorbing in principle of chiropractic and the excitement of chiropractic. And there could have been everything from technique to practice. And I was in school. I wasn't even a chiropractor yet, but I was just absorbing it all. Then, as a new doc, I did the same thing. And I learned that, every one of my closest friends and mentors in chiropractic was at DE or came from DE. Every great principal chiropractor, if you trace it back, they all started somehow at DE. They might not be there. They might not still go or haven't been in ages, but they all come from that source. And for me, a lot of them are still there. I'm still close with a lot of my mentors. Dr. Leo, I know you're on there, Vre. He sent me a text. Dr. Leo Bellianos, I was just listening to his talk the other day because I didn't get a chance to see it. And I just love, all the love and how honest and sincere Dr. Leo always puts out, and he shows that in his talk. And he's always been a mentor for me, because he's always, even from when I was a student, new doc, building a new building, no matter what, he was always encouraging, always saying the right things, always loving. So one of my mentors, another one back in that first DE, I met a guy who had a lot of energy. His name was Dr. Andy Farelli. And I was a student. He was already a doc. And I got word from some other people. I met him, like I met a lot of people. I got word from some other people that he was teaching some students on Tuesday night. He'd have them come to his office, and he'd teach them chiropractic philosophy, go over some green books, and then teach them adjusting. And I was hungry. So I wanted all of that, because I didn't feel like it was going fast enough in school, as students are. So I had just met him, and I asked him, so I hear about this little group you have on Tuesday nights. Is there any way I can get in on that? And he didn't know me. So he's like, well, I just have enough students. It's kind of full. My office isn't that big. So, but if a spot opens up, I'll let you know. And I didn't let it go at that. So I just said, okay. But I kept talking to him over the weekend. I said, you sure it's not a lot? Listen, I don't need a lot of space. I'll stand in the corner. I won't talk. I just wanted to be around chiropractic. I wanted to get my hands on people. I wanted to learn more. And he laughed and chuckled about it and said, by the end of DE, he said, all right, be in my office on Tuesday night. So we used to go there every Tuesday night, and we'd learn everything from philosophy, green books, technique. And even when I was in school and I was in student clinic, and I went back to Long Island for student clinic, and I worked in his office on the weekends. He used to be open on Sunday. He was the only chiropractor I knew that was open on Sunday morning. And he said, the reason I open on Sunday morning is people around here in New York are so busy. That was the only time, like after church, they all come to his office. So it was really busy. He was only open a few hours. It was very busy during those few hours. And I just worked at his front desk. I just said, I'll volunteer to run your front desk just so I could be around chiropractic. And I did. And I did that till I graduated or finished clinic. Then when I was finishing clinic, so, we all got a lot of this has to do with faith. We were always taught faith in God, faith in innate, faith in ourselves. And so I had faith and I was hungry. And I said, well, when I get out, I'm going to start my own practice. And growing up in New Jersey, no offense to New Jersey people out there, but I said, I don't want to go back to New Jersey. I want to go somewhere else. I could do this anywhere. I just got to get a license. So I always loved New England. I love the ocean. I love the coast. And I looked at Maine, and I knew this many people in the state of Maine. And I said, that looks like a beautiful place. I think I'm going to go there. I'm going to live there. I'm going to open a practice. So before I graduated, I was able to take the board, went and took a board and passed. But of course, you don't get your license until you actually graduate. I was still in clinic, still had some student loans. I forget which kind of loans, still a few student loans that were available to me. And I realized, once I graduate, I'm going to be new doc, no money, a lot of debt. They're not going to want to lend me money then, but I still have these loans available to me. I'm going to pull them now. So I took a few $1,000s. I took whatever was available to me and I started buying equipment for my new office. I bought adjusting tables. I bought I bought 2 Kahle thermoscribes. I bought x-ray equipment. I bought all kinds of stuff, getting ready for my new office. Still didn't know exactly where I was going to be. And I had in my head, in my educated, where I was going to be. In a certain city in Portland, Maine, where I thought I was going to be, because that's where all the people are. So I said, I'm going to be there. And I went up there and I started going through and looking at spaces. And everyone I looked at, and Nate said, no, this isn't it. I'm like, God, it doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Don't like this neighborhood. Don't like this area. Don't like anything about it. And I was getting frustrated because I couldn't find where I wanted to go. So fortunately, I listened, and Nate said, look somewhere else. So I went a little further south down, and looking around, I came across this beautiful little town of Kennebunk, Maine, on the coast in southern Maine. And I said, that looks like a good place. Got a good vibe, good energy. I think that's where I want to be. I met a guy who said, hey, there's a space over here you could take over. And it looked beautiful. It was blank. Had to build it out. But I opened up and went from knowing nobody. Now, I graduated young. I was 24 and a half when I graduated. And I opened my office from scratch on July 7th, 1994. So July 7th, this coming July 7th, is going to be 32 years that I opened the doors, and I'm still in that practice, still there, probably not going to go anywhere. Different building. We built a building years ago, but same town. And everything I have in chiropractic, everything I have in my life, I'm grateful to chiropractic. I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful to DE, because DE and Dr. Sid especially gave me all that foundation to practice, to have the certainty, to be able to communicate chiropractic to people, more importantly, to be able to deliver chiropractic to people, to be able to deliver the goods. And I got it from DE, whether it was directly in the DE room were from the DE docs that took me under their wing. My mentors, brothers and sisters who I listened to and I still listen to this day. So I'm appreciative for all that. So, and along the journey, it's, of course, just like everybody else, there's been a lot of great times, tough times, great stories. And just earlier, I tried to get clear. So let me think of some of the, good things that happened during that journey. And for some reason, this story I hadn't thought about in years popped up in my head. And I was probably only a few years in practice. And it was summer. We get a lot of summer visitors. And I got a phone call from, I got to know Dr. Palmer Pete from DE. I got a phone call from him saying, and he was in Vermont, I'm in Maine, so not too, kind of far, but neighboring state. And he said, hey, so I got this lady that I take care of, and her dad is up there, and something happened to them. They were on vacation, and he was swimming in a lake, and he was in the water, and something happened. He just flipped out, had some sort of, they're not sure if some sort of psychotic episode. He's never had anything like this, but he's totally out of it, not talking, not coherent. And he's at the emergency room at Southern Maine Medical Center, which is in the next town. He goes, can you go check him? And I said, yes, because we're told to do something, we just do it. I'm like, okay, how am I going to get in there? Because around here, I've adjusted people in every hospital in Southern Maine, but that one is notorious for being a chiropractor walking in there is kind of like a vampire walking into a church. They get really freaked out. You don't have a license here. We can't, you're not under insurance, this and that. So, and this guy was in intensive care. He was in the ICU. He was in the super ICU, which had all glass walls. Everybody was watching. And his daughter came out and talked to me, and she goes, we don't know what's going on with him. I just know that if he got adjusted, it could only help. And we're hoping you would. And so we got in there, and there was an infectious disease specialist from Portland and from the state. It was a state infectious disease. Why infectious disease? They don't know. They said he was swimming in the lake. And the reason they call this infectious disease specialist, pay attention to this one, is they don't know what's going on with him, but he's got this big lump on the side of his neck, at the top of his neck. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And they said, maybe it's an infection. And so I said, all right, let me go check him. But he was being watched constantly through those glass windows. So finally we had some family. I said, tell them I'm your cousin. Don't mention the word chiropractor. I'm a cousin who just came. I want to see him. And basically I got in there, and the daughter stood in front, and I never met this guy in my life. Checked his neck, did the best I could, as we all do. And I adjusted his atlas. And the guy went from just laying there and instantly just kind of perked up, still wouldn't talk, still was out of it, but grabbed me and put me face to face and just hugged me and held me there for a minute. And then he let go. And then I walked away. And his daughter, we snuck out, and his daughter said to me, that's great. What else? What do we do? And I said, I'll come check. I just give him time. I'll come check him again tomorrow. We'll try to get this done again. I'll see how he's looking. So that morning, the next day, I was going to go to the hospital, and his daughter called me, and she said, I would still appreciate if you come see my dad, but he's not in the ICU anymore. He's down in a regular room. I think they're going to let him go today. I'm like, really? Yeah. And I walked in. Nobody was guarding him. He was just in a regular room. He was dressed. He was just ready to get out of there. And he says, I don't remember anything that happened. I don't know anything. He goes, but I really sure am appreciative that you came to see me. And I checked him again. I adjusted him again. He went home. And other than some Christmas cards and years to come, I haven't seen him or haven't heard him. But those are just some of those amazing things that are given to us. And, the only reason that we could do that is if we have the certainty that, say, we can go in and do that and be confident that say, this is the right thing to do. Like Dr. Kale used to say, anything you're going to do is better. The worst thing you're going to do is better than anything the medical doctor is going to do for him that day. You might as well give him a shot. So beyond that, not only the office, I've adjusted many people in the hospital, as a lot of us have, babies in the hospital. My own CA at the time, who was actually in today with her daughter. So her daughter has the same birthday as me. It's coming up next week. Her daughter has the same birthday as me. She's going to be 5. But when she was born, count 5 years back, 2021. So it's just like coming out of COVID, and they were kind of still freaky. So she had the baby. The baby was born, and the baby wouldn't feed. And the baby was just feeding from a feeding tube. And they said something's wrong with the baby. They think maybe she has. Everybody thinks everybody's got an infection. Baby's got an infection. We're not sure, but she won't feed. And so she asked, will you come check the baby? Now, during this time, they really didn't want anybody coming to the hospital, but somehow she convinced them that I needed to come in and see him. And she did tell them I was a chiropractor, and they said, okay, he can come. He's got to wear a mask. I'm like, I can wear a mask for the baby. So I came in, checked the baby, and adjusted her atlas. And they said she can't leave until she feeds 24 hours on her own. And she is not fed on her own at all. She's feeding through a tube. Until she feeds on her own for 24 hours, she can't leave. So I came in and I checked her and I adjusted her. 24 and a half hours later, she texted me. She says, because I was getting ready to go back and visit her again. She says, you don't have to. We're coming home. As soon as you left, within a half hour, she latched on, started nursing, has been eating like a champ, and still getting adjusted to this day. Came in this morning. We share a birthday next week. It's going to be the big 5. And again, these are all the things that, we learned and we gained confidence from DE. And, I mentioned all the mentors, but the one I always credit, I realize more now in my later years that I still refer back to, other than Sigafus, is Dr. Sid. All things that Dr. Sid implanted in there repetitively over and over really, really stuck in there and really made a difference. And I'm appreciative to Dr. Sid for doing what he did. I'm appreciative to all my mentors and all my brothers and sisters in chiropractic. I love and appreciate you all. And that was probably like a big run-on sentence, but there you go. That's all I got. Thanks for letting me share.
That was not a long run-on sentence. That was awesome, Pete.
I felt like it was just going on and on.
No, it was great, man. It was like a trip down memory lane, and it was great to hear your story and your time at DE and your mentors, and hopefully Frank DiGiacomo's somewhere practicing that you can thank him.
He's practicing in heaven right now.
Really?
He passed years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But he was a good guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing tonight, Pete. Great story. And love your story. And, hopefully we see you real soon at DE. And thanks for everything, brother. And say hi to Katie for us.
All right. I will. Thanks. Appreciate you.
All right. Love and appreciate you all. Thank you guys for being on tonight for the Tuesday night Principal Chiro broadcast. We'll see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night.
You too.